Hello and welcome. While we're here, it's the first spreads of the week 2023. It's been a while, Mike. Both happy to get back into this and tuck into some game lines and over-unders.
Yeah, definitely. It was good to have college football back last week, but the real thing for me starts. Well, it started last night with the Chiefs, which we'll get into momentarily. But yeah, no, it's good to be back for another season. Should be a good one.
Yeah, both of us under 50% last year. A real smelly one from us there. But yeah, it seems to get tougher as the years goes on, to be honest. And we'll go over that this week as well with some extremely tight lines across the board. Still fun to do though and give our opinion and whatnot. So let's get into it. And both of us taking the Chiefs last night, Mike, -4.5. We thought that was a lock. Didn't turn out to be, maybe overlooking some of the deficiencies in the receiving core there for the Chiefs, leading to that. But it was an odd game, a bit of an underwhelming spectacle overall. And honestly, I think almost everyone would have taken the Chiefs just based on last year's form. So not too bad, but it should be said we continue our terrible run of picking Thursday night games. I think we only picked two correctly last year. So yeah,
Yeah,
they are historically hard to pick. And yeah, just a bit of mud on our faces after that one, I think.
yeah. Week one, the Thursday night football variables probably don't weigh as much as heavy because obviously they've had the same amount of time to prepare. But obviously the when you're in the regular season, it's on a short week. You never know who's going to turn up, so it does make it very difficult to predict.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting last night. The Lions, just how I thought it was going to be a 10-point win for the Chiefs. I should have anticipated the Kelsey absence was going to be huge,
Yeah.
especially against the amount of zone coverage that the Lions ended up playing, which I was saying to you earlier probably did surprise the Chiefs because they were more of a man team last year. They didn't
Yeah.
change coordinator or anything. They just changed some personnel and completely changed how they played defense, which probably did shock the Chiefs a bit. But yeah, all credit to
Yeah.
them. The punchy Lions team yet again this year. I expect they'll be in the NFC North competition to win that division for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So
All right.
I've shared my screen with The Athletic, which, if you don't subscribe, you should. In my opinion, I think it's very good NFL coverage across a whole range of topics. I wish they were paying me to promote them, but I'm just going to for free. Um, and we'll start off with Jags at Colts. So, and I think we've been doing these spreads of the week for a couple of years, Tom. And we always crack up when it comes to the AFC South because it's normally it's just a bit of a slobber knocker, isn't it? Every game, and you never know who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, I think last year it was almost every game the underdog covered in the AFC South. I can't remember the exact number. It's always a cover for the underdogs. That said, in week one, where you don't really know what's going on, I'm just going to bet on what I know, and I'll take the Jags here to cover that -4.5. I picked the Jags to go quite away this year, so I think I have to back them and stick with them until I no longer can. So I'm going against last year's logic, but that's just kind of week one. So yeah, just not sure what Anthony Richardson's going to look like here for the Colts. It could be a disaster, to be honest.
Yeah, it could be absolutely. The Jags' offensive line could be a disaster as well. To be fair, um, they're they're in a bit of a mess there with Robinson being injured and Jawan James going over to the Chiefs. They are a bit of a revolving door at tackle. So that being said, and just a lot, the theme of this podcast is a lot of these are going to be coin tosses. These games. Let's make this
Yeah,
interesting. I'm going to go for Anthony Richardson to come in
yeah,
and get a week one win at home for the Colts. Um,
yeah.
to start a load of hubbub about how he's going to be the offensive Roy of the year. Um, so yeah, I just think they'll run the hell out of the football and keep it close, play defense, and we'll see. See what the Jaguares have got.
Yeah, I like that. I can see that happening. It's good to have a differ on the first one.
Yep, cool.
All right.
Well, we're off to a flyer. Another AFC South team. Holy Toledo.
Wow.
We are the Texans traveling up to Maryland to face the Baltimore Ravens. Interestingly,
I'll let you take this one first.
yeah, I've got 10 points on the UK bookmaker that I use, and I've seen 10 elsewhere as well. Have you got 10 for this rather than 9.5?
No, I had 9.5 here.
Maybe it's
So
just come in. Oh, that's depressing.
yeah,
Well, that's probably everybody doing what I'm about to do, which is pile in on the Texans. That's too many points. New coach. We've never seen the Ravens offense before. They're rolling out a new Todd Monken led offense as the new coordinator, and it should be better than what they've had. They've had a pretty dire offense in the last couple of years, but yeah, give me the points when it's that many.
yeah, I'm going to side with the Ravens on this one to come out with a crushing win and make a statement here for what the Ravens that organization is thinking is going to be a Super Bowl year. Now that Lamar Jackson's all tied up and they've got some weaponry around him. I think there's a statement game here for the Ravens and a 3-score win for the Ravens early on. I don't think it's enough.
Visions of Lamar of 2 years ago just bombs away his MVP season when everyone thought they were just going to run it 60 times a game and he started lighting the league up. That's what Tom's hoping for here.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think the Texans secondary gives me much hope. To be
Yeah,
honest,
you've never been.
players.
Yeah, it's fair to say you've never been much of a Derek Stingley fan. We should really clip up your your thoughts on him from the 2022 NFL draft. But no, I just think D'Amico Ryan's is a good coach. And he's
Yeah,
defensive.
yeah,
So we'll see. We'll see. Good to have two differs though. This is going to be interesting one way or the other with these two differs right off the bat.
yeah.
So then we have the Buccaneers heading up. I don't know if they'll be wearing their creamsicles. They should, as it's the summer. They should be really be wearing their creamsicle jerseys, heading up to the Minnesota Vikings. It's you to go first, so I'm going to let you.
Okay, a 5.5 point spread here. Yeah, as I was saying to you before we jumped on this, the Vikings are a team that interests me. They opened up last year with a whooping of the Packers in their first home game. And Cousins was looking like an MVP candidate early on there. I think the same thing happens here. I think the Vikings hit the ground running, and this is a dominant performance here against the woeful Bucks with Baker Mayfield starting at QB. It's just an unknown. I can see them covering the 5. Logic says you probably should, given the Vikings were terrible against the spread last year and winning a lot of close games. They would say it's too many points to give the Bucks. It's just very much an unknown for me, and I think the Vikings hit the ground running here, and they've just got too much in the pass game for the Buccaneers here. So it's a Vikings win by 7-10 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. It doesn't thrill me to do that because, as you know, I'm not the
I thought
biggest
you
fan.
might be different.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm not the biggest fan of this roster, as you know. And they've only their running game has got worse, and their pass rush has got worse. Although they do have Brian Flores now coordinating, which can only be an improvement on the Ed Donatel led unit of last season, which was the worst in the NFL. So, yeah, I think the Bucks are sneakily in the Caleb Williams stakes. To be honest, I think they might be tanking. If they lose 2 or 3 games early here, they might pull Mayfield and tank. So, yeah, give me the Vikings to cover here.
Yeah, I like it. All right,
Um,
go next.
so jumping around a little bit, this timeline is a little bit difficult to use. I think the next one is here. So we've got San Francisco heading out to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Cross country,
Oof.
2-point line. I had seen 2.5, so this has come in. A lot of money on Pittsburgh here for me. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it from Kenny Pickett. The preseason is a liar normally. I know he was fantastic in the preseason.
Yeah.
I did watch some of the brilliant JT O'Sullivan coverage that he provides on the QB school. and he was kind of saying he was quite impressed with Pickett, but he was saying they were scheming some things up in the preseason that you wouldn't normally see, some actual sort of game planning to give him
Right.
some confidence. And I think when you actually play the 49ers defense with Bosa, they gave him that contract. Bosa's going to play. I think there's the hype train might be coming off the rails a little bit here, slowing down, shall we say? I still think the Steelers will have a winning season because they usually do, but I think
Mm.
this might be a come back to earth moment for them here.
It is.
So
It
give me
could
the
be.
Niners. Sorry, just to be clear.
Yeah. No, that's fine. It could be. This is a tough one. I'm I'm surprised the spread is this. I would peg the Niners to be a field goal favorite here, a 3.5 point favorite. This is just another example of a crazy tight line. I think just to be different in week one, let's continue the theme. I'll take the Steelers here. I think I was looking at the against the spreads last year. The Buccaneers were terrible, kept falling from lofty heights. They were 4-12, and I was thinking which team might be that team this year. I've got a sneaky suspicion the Niners it could just fall apart this year. It's just a very wild guess. The quarterback play, I'm not sure they're going to maintain a consistent level with the guys they have, and I think they're always prone to injuries. The Niners always so. That being said, it might not affect the first game of the season, but I do think the Niners could be in for a slippery slope this year. I think you and me both have the Seahawks winning that division. And I just think, yeah, a home game for the Steelers, everyone's up for it. I'll take the Steelers here to differ. My picks on the Niners mainly come into fruition later in the year, but I do think it could be an odd year for them overall.
Yeah, I think their division is too bad for them to sort of be a 4-5 win team. I think they could beat the Rams
Yeah,
and the Cardinals home and away.
yeah,
But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think when there is a propensity for Kyle Shanahan's quarterbacks to get hurt, taking 7-step drops from under center, not protecting them very well on play. The play action game is great, but it does expose the quarterback to a lot of hits.
mm,
His quarterbacks do always seem to get injured. And if Purdy gets injured this year, you're with Sam Darnold, and that doesn't inspire me at all. So I'm with you. I could see them being closer to 500 than maybe the experts think. Because we're going a little bit off
yeah,
topic here, but I thought that was a good take by you. I thought, and something I would echo. So maybe the 49ers not as good as everybody thinks they are, but they do enough for me here to sneak past the Steelers on the road by maybe as
yeah,
little as a point.
yeah.
Next one here. Oh goodness, my word! The Arizona Cardinals have to travel cross country in their first game with Clayton Tune at quarterback. I believe it will be, although Josh Dobbs is in contention. They haven't announced a starter. This
My
is a
word.
mess, isn't it, Tom? The Cardinals.
Yeah, it is a mess. Having said that, it
No,
is the Commanders. This is one I won't be touching with a 10-foot barge pole, I'm afraid. But if you have to peg me for the spread here, I'm probably going to say it's a it's a Washington Commanders cover just because the defense is going to have too much for whoever's started at quarterback there for the Cardinals.
I thought
One thing about the Ron Rivera-led teams is that the defense is always going to turn up and make games competitive. Now, when they're favorites, maybe that's not the best logic to use because they're more prone to keeping them in tough games than putting away opposition. But I think the Commanders lean on the run. They have to be slightly improved from what they were last year at offense. I feel like they come in with more of an identity and just grind away against the Cardinals, and this gets a bit ugly in the fourth quarter, I think.
yeah, I think I would agree with all of that. I thought you were going to
Yeah.
take the Cardinals for a second, going against the national narrative there. Nobody is giving the Commanders a chance. The Cardinals a chance in any game. I don't think
No.
they could be the first contender for an 0-16 season we've seen for a long time potentially. Now I've said all that. Now I've said all that. They'll go and thump the Commanders this weekend. But no, I agree. I'm going to take Washington as well. I think they win by 10, 14 points. I'd also be looking at that under on the points as well, 38. I don't think there's going to be 38 points in this game. This could be a
Ooh,
20. This could be a 20-7 game or something.
yeah,
Real toilet bowl affair. So
that's
um,
true.
that would interest me. Maybe not the spread, but maybe the total points might interest me on that one. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're both agreeing on that one. I thought we might have a sensational differ for a second there, but we didn't.
Yeah, it's tough. It's just not enough points. The bookies seem to have made all these spreads relatively tight this week. They're just not
Yeah,
giving much either way. So yeah, I'll take
and I
definitely take the Skins Commanders. Sorry, just a
and
touchdown.
and that's a trend we were talking about as well, because you and I normally are at 70-80% week one, because there's normally some preposterous lines week one.
There are, yeah,
And the bookies just aren't having it this year. They've decided they've lost too much money seasons past, so they're keeping their powder dry and keeping things close. I think the
yeah,
Cardinals further down the line we get in the season will be good value for some covers when they start
yeah.
getting
So
into
some
17.
double-digit
Yeah,
covers. Yeah,
yeah, when they start getting above 15-point spreads in some of these games, they'll be really good cover.
yeah.
Uh,
It'll be enticing.
spread busters is the word I'm looking for. Um, well,
Well, here we have a Traylon Burks injured, which can come as no surprise to anyone here, Mike. That's
no,
the first thing I see on this game.
no, no, it doesn't come as a surprise. Ah, Vrabel always does for me every year. I always pick against the Titans because I just don't see any talent outside of Derrick Henry on their roster. Um,
Yeah,
and Simmons on the defensive line is obviously an all pro as well. But um, I think the Saints. I think in a tale of two bad teams, I think the Saints are a slightly less bad team, and they are also at home in a raucous environment. So I'm
yeah.
going to take the Saints.
Yeah, I like Derek Carr there. I think he's going to give them a level of QB play that they've been greatly missing the last few years since Breeze retired. And I do have the Saints as like a sneaky team that could nab into a wild card berth. However, this just smells of a Titans win. Just one of these games that no one expects them to win, and they'll just come in and absolutely pummel the Saints here in week one and really surprise everyone.
Yeah,
Just keep it simple for Tannehill. Lean on Henry. I'm not sure that the injury status of Tajay Spears, but he's a back that you and me are very high on after the recent draft. I think he will add another dimension to this team as a pass catching back and someone outside the tackles who can get some stuff done there. I just think it smells of an odd Titans win when you don't expect it here. So let's differ on this one.
yeah, great stuff. I can see it happening, but yeah, offensive line of the Titans though is the problem. They can't run it potentially as well as they used to, but we'll see. We'll see. You could well be right. As I say, Vrabel always does me on the spreads. Um, Panthers at Falcons, so another divisional tie. This in the South, this time in the NFC. Uh,
Oh,
it's yeah, your turn to pick first. What do you got?
yeah, this is another game in the Panthers Falcons rivalry in which the underdog covers almost 100% of the time. So this is a Panthers cover for me, and could potentially see them win this because this is just how these games go. I expect this spread to be the opposite way round in the corresponding fixture, and subsequently the Falcons will cover in that one because that's just how these games go. So just on that logic, I'm not really looking at the quarterback play or anything like that. I'm intrigued to see what the Panthers look like. I think they're going to be a pretty competitive unit. They were last year. They've only got better. The Falcons, slightly worried for them this year. That they could be one of the worst records in the NFL. I don't think they got better. They've still got some problems they haven't addressed. Just because of all of that and the history of these two, it's a comfy Panthers cover here for me, Mike.
Me too. Totally agree. You made the point on the Falcons. I'm going to echo that. I think it's the strangest way to build a roster I've ever seen. To be honest, they've had 3 top 10 picks and they've used them on a receiver, a tight end, and a running back. And in the last 3 years, they've signed 3 defensive linemen in free agency, all over the age of 30. It's just a really weird allocation of resources in Atlanta. I don't get it at all. To be honest with me, to be honest with you, I don't get where their wins are going to come from in big numbers. They'll scrap out some wins in the South. But yeah, I think the Panthers with this point spread. Why not? Yeah, if it was a touchdown, I'd take the Falcons. But it's sorry, if it was closer, I would take the Falcons. But it's 3.5 points. So yeah, give me the Panthers here.
Yeah, in a week of very tight spreads, this is one of the more surprising ones to me, actually.
Yeah, I would have thought this would be 1 point. This is a coin toss for me. I'd make the Falcons a 1 point favorite being at home, and with Panthers having a rookie quarterback. I don't know why it's such long odds. I think the superstar skill players in inverted commas that the Falcons have got, the young talent they've got, I think has swayed people, but the lines of scrimmage on either side of the ball don't do it for me for the Falcons at all, and that's where the game's won and lost. So, I think we're agreed on that one. I'll just have to move this here so I can get to the rest of these lines. One for your hometown Cleveland Browns, Tom.
Yes.
Bengals,
expectations high as usual.
The Bengals are coming to town. Joe Burrow is fit, I believe. The line is 2 points. I'll let you do your stats that you gave me earlier because I don't want to rain on your parade. But I'll keep it simple. I'll take Joe Burrow to win the game. Better quarterback and just better roster in general. It's not like they've got far to travel. It's an in-state rivalry game. So, yeah. Give me the Bengals here.
Let's. So the stat was I was just double checking it's correct there. So Burrow's 1-5 career against the Browns. It's a home game for the Browns. Yeah, this is more of a divisional spread I expect to see. It's another coin toss. I'll just go with the Browns to keep it interesting here. And they just do enough to get this one done. They just seem to have it over the Bengals, and can't really put my finger on why. I guess in previous seasons the defensive lines kind of overwhelmed that Bengals offensive line. We'll see how that goes. The Bengals have addressed that in recent years, but yeah, I just think the Browns have the wood on Burrow, so I'll go with the history on this one.
Yeah, look, if Deshaun Watson shows up and plays even 20-30% better than he did last year, the Browns have got a recipe to beat the Bengals. They're going to run the ball well. Watson in that scenario would make enough plays to keep it interesting. So the Bengals, in my view, should win, but I can definitely see the Browns winning this game. It's going to be a close game for sure. But
yeah, very, very close.
Give me the Bengals.
What about that over-under there? It's a bit high for me, 47.5 points. Definitely under that.
That is surprising. I think both defenses are quite competent for either side here. And I don't think the Bengals will be firing on all cylinders with Burrows missing all of training camp. And obviously Deshaun Watson if he's the same Deshaun Watson as last season, they're not going to light the scoreboard up either. So yeah, that's an interesting line on the total points. Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, now we get into the late kicks.
The meat of the slate here, the late kicks. So the Dolphins go cross country to Los Angeles. Tom, over to you.
Yeah, I'm not going to make as much of the cross country trip in week one because I don't think it should be a factor at all in week one.
You would have thought they'd have gone out a few days early if they could have.
Yeah,
I would assume. I haven't done any research on that. If I was them, I'd have gone out 10 days early, but I don't know if they've done that.
No, I don't know. Two are healthy. Good roster has been built here from the Dolphins. Chargers at home, which we know is not a home game atmosphere. This will be a very Chargers thing for the Chiefs to get done in the first game, and the Chargers have a chance to go atop the AFC West. They just blow it. So this is a comfy Dolphins cover. and actually probably a Dolphins win here for me, just because I know what the Chargers are like. We'll see. I'm sure Kellen Moore is going to make that offense nigh on unstoppable. It's just a Chargers thing for me to blow it here. So it's the Dolphins cover.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go Dolphins as well. I'm surprised to see this line at 3. I thought this might be a 2-point line.
Yeah, that is a bit long.
I have noticed there's a general trend in the last couple of weeks. A lot of that early off-season buzz around the Dolphins has kind of gone away, and now there's a lot more concern that there's too many star names on that roster, and they're a bit of a dream team in inverted commas with a young head coach, which has never really worked out well for anybody in the past. But I don't know. I just look at Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devin Achane. Although Waddle and Achane both on injury report here, that is interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're just an interesting team to me, and Vic Fangio coming over to steer the defense. I think I'm going to take the Dolphins too, and we'll live dangerously together, Tom. I don't like a big cross country trip like this normally to make them favorite to cover, but we'll go with it this time.
Yeah, the Fangio defense could be the elixir for the Chargers offense, and just kind of frustrate the Chargers actually. So that's actually a good point. And
Kellen will run the football. That's they're going to be a lot more balanced, the Chargers, which gives me a lot of faith in their offense this year. They'll run it a lot more with Kellen Moore as play caller, much more towards a 55-45 split, I would say, than the sort of 70% or whatever it's been with Justin Herbert previous years. So, yeah, we'll see. I agree with you. I think Kellen Moore will be getting a head coaching job at the end of the season, is my prediction. So, the Philadelphia Eagles. I think, is it my turn to go first? I've lost track.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, how about it?
Isn't that serendipitous? My Philadelphia Eagles head up to Boston to play the New England Patriots. Foxborough, Mass, I guess, not Boston, but close enough.
It's an hour away.
Yeah. The line is 4, which I guess is fair considering the season we had last season. The Patriots, obviously, with their record last year, aren't going to garner a lot of interest. I mean, I will say the Patriots defense, it doesn't get a lot of credit because of their overall record, but it is a top 5 unit every season. Scrambling quarterbacks have given Bill Belichick problems in the past, though, due to the amount of man coverage he wants to deploy. So I think Jalen Hurts could have a nice day on the ground. And for me, actually, that isn't even the biggest factor in this game. I think the Patriots are absolutely decimated on the offensive line. They only carried 1 quarterback on their initial 55-man roster because they were stealing offensive linemen from everywhere else, just so that they had 5 ready to go for this game. So Eagles, probably the deepest defensive line room in the league, up there with the Niners, should be able to go in there and feast on that offensive line. And I think the Eagles might win by a touchdown here. Get us off to a good start.
Yeah, I have to say I like that. I wanted to disagree here, but you're right. Nothing about the Patriots offense gives me any confidence here. I think this could be one of those few years we see the Patriots finish last in this division. Certainly on the roster-wise, they're the most talent deficient of all those AFC East teams. I think, I'll just go with the points you made. It's keep it simple. I'll join you and the Eagles on this one. A good win and a statement win to start the year.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah.
Okay. This one, I believe, I could be proven wrong, but I would suggest, based on our earlier conversation, we're going to disagree here, but it's your turn to go first, so I'll let you have at it.
Yeah, I just think this is an NFC North where it's going to be every team is 3-3 in the division this year. And just based on that logic, the Bears are the home team here. So I'll take the Bears. They're rid of the Aaron Rodgers curse now, no longer owned by the Packers. And I think they get off to a nice win here. Nothing too flashy from the Bears. probably look for that under 42 points on this one. But yeah, I think they have enough to get it done, and they'd probably lose this corresponding fixture just because this division is just going to be teams beating up on each other, and no clear favorite. I said earlier I wasn't too happy with the quarterback play I've seen from Love so far in the few starts he's had. Happy to be proven wrong, but I think on the road at Soldier Field is tough for him to start there. It's a Bears cover
On the road.
on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers. Just why not? I could see the scenario you're suggesting. Justin Fields finally gets a win over the hated Packers, and starts going around telling the Packers fans that he owns them. It'd be the most American thing ever, with what is one win in 10 years or something over the Packers. But no, I'm just gonna. I haven't liked what I've seen out of Justin Fields. I was a big Justin Fields fan coming out of OSU. I thought he was going to be a really good pro. I don't think he's been nurtured very well in the pros, though, to be in his defense. And just running him 20 times against the Packers defense, I don't think is going to be enough. He's going to have to show development as a passer. And I don't, obviously, Jordan Love is not going to be Aaron Rodgers, but I think what I've seen in preseason and the flashes that he's displayed in the past, outside of one terrible debut performance against the Chiefs a couple of years ago, he's looked reasonably solid to me. So I'm going to say the Packers just nick it and give us another differ here.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's a coin toss.
Do you
That
think
spread makes sense to me.
what odds would you? I mean, what I guess the real question is, if they do win, will Jordan Love tell the Bears that he owns them? Because that would be fantastic, chat. That would be brilliant, chat. That would be a lot better than Justin Fields saying that he owns the Packers.
Yeah, they would actually. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that would be great.
I'm not sure how charismatic Jordan Love is, but I guess we'll find out.
I would. Yeah, he needs almost like a Kirk Cousins in the tunnel. You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Kirk, no, we've already done Kirk Cousins. This one, I don't know where I still to this up until recording, I don't know where I lie on this one. So, yeah. So, is it 4.5 points? Is that right? You can see it's kind of gone a bit funny down here in the spread column.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that is right. All right. All right, give me the Seahawks. They're a much better team. The Rams are going to play something like 30 rookies, I think, in this game. They've got 30 rookies on their 55, I believe, or something like that. It's some absurd amount. Like they've signed a load of unrestricted free agents after the draft, undrafted players. So I just think Geno and the Seahawks. I've got Geno in my fantasy team this week over Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback, just assuming that they're going to smash the Rams. So I better take on that logic. I should take the Seahawks on the spread. Cooper Kupp is also out. Yeah. We should say the Rams is a bizarre roster. They've only got three. They've got three of the best players in the NFL, and then nothing else. And one of those is injured. So give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, I won't labor it too much. We've got a couple games we probably want to touch on a bit more. So it's Seahawks are a better team. It's not big enough for me, that spread. It's a Seahawks cover.
I mean, biggest. I mean, up there with the Chiefs, biggest home advantage as well. So
yeah.
So we've got 4 minutes left, Tom, to rattle through these. So Raiders at Broncos. Your division as a Chiefs fan, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the Raiders here. The Broncos are still unknown for me. I don't know what Wilson will look like with Sean Payton, but I can see it going very wrong again for the Broncos. I think the Raiders are solid enough now with Jimmy G at the helm to stay in some of these games, especially with their defense improving a little bit, and if they can get Jacobs going. They're just kind of built to cover in some of these. It's a divisional game, so I'll just take the underdog at 3.5 here.
Yeah, me too. I think just to make it punchy. Obviously, a field goal is not enough for Denver, so why not? Why not go with the Vegas Raiders? I mean, the Raiders will have a terrible defense outside of Max Crosby, so that does concern me. Normally against a Sean Payton-led team, that would concern me a lot. But as you say, Russell Wilson is an unknown still. And Broncos offensive line as well is not the unit that it was 2 or 3 years ago. So Crosby could feast as well. So yeah, give me. Is there what was that? Oh, they had that big defensive end rookie. The Raiders did. Is he playing? It doesn't look like he's injured. Oh, I forget his name already. God, watched
Yeah,
film
I'm
on
not
him.
sure.
Like I watched film on him like 3 months ago, and I've already forgotten his name. But he, yeah, I think they could get to the quarterback in this, which will make it interesting.
Yeah.
Um, okay. As per usual, an inexplicable Sunday night game. Dallas always get in prime
Who
time.
was thinking? Yeah.
We've actually got three more to get through here. Christ, we've got a long way to go. It's me. Is it me to go first? Yes, it is. So
Yeah.
this has been very fortuitous today. This is my division, NFC East. Give me the Cowboys here. Give me the Cowboys. I'll go with them getting a bit of a statement win. That defense rattles Daniel Jones. And they get their season off to a flyer, the Cowboys, on the road in New Jersey, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll differ just because I think it's interesting and I want to see what the offense looks like with more weaponry now. Hyatt should be a good addition for them. They've got Darren Waller. I feel like this is now or never for the Giants to perform. And I just think I want to differ and take the Giants on this one. Should be a good game.
Nice one. And is there no Monday Night Football this week? I can't see it on this ticker here.
Yeah,
I
you
thought,
better go back a bit. It's Bills Jets.
I've gone way too far. Way too far. There it is. Right, less than a minute. We're gonna have to make these quick, my friend. You first. Sorry, you first.
This has come in. It was 2.5 when I
Yeah,
last looked, so that's interesting. Come right down now with some money going on the Jets, obviously. This is tough. This is really tough. I feel like I was just going to differ with what you said, but I will
that's
take
fine. We can do that. We can do that. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the Jets here. We've got about 10 seconds, I think, Tom.
Okay, fine. I was thinking the Bills anyway, so go on. I'll take the Bills. You take the
Perfect.
Jets.
Well, plenty of divers this week. It will be interesting to see. Enjoy the
Yeah,
games.
have
Go
fun.
well.
Go well.